Ever feel like you just got things figured out and bam, everything changes?
Oh, yeah.
Like you're finally getting the hang of things and then you have to start all over.
Definitely.
We're going to dive into one of those big changes today.
Okay.
The one everyone goes through eventually.
I'm listening.
Moving to high school.
It's a big one.
Huge.
So many changes all at once.
Bit to that.
For everyone involved, really.
Yeah, so you shared a fascinating research paper with me.
I did.
The transition to high school, current knowledge, future directions.
By April D. Benner.
Right.
It's a great overview of the research in this area.
And it really is like a backstage pass to understanding what really happens during this time.
Definitely, and all grounded in science.
Solid research.
Not just anecdotes.
Exactly. So what's our mission for this deep dive today?
Well, we want to take this study and unpack all the important stuff.
Right.
All the key insights.
Some of which I bet will surprise people.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and paint a clearer picture.
Yeah, exactly.
Of what's happening during this transition.
Not just the obvious challenges, but also those kind of hidden dynamics.
Right, and we're going to do it all in plain language.
Joe jargon.
Easy to understand.
Exactly.
Now, this deep dive isn't based on just one study, right?
Oh.
It pulls from a whole bunch of research.
37 different studies, in fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty massive review of the literature.
All peer-reviewed.
Yeah, from all across the U.S.
And over the last 3 decades.
That's right, from the early 90s all the way to the present.
So they looked at everything.
Everything.
From how grades change
Yeah.
to social well-being during this transition.
The whole picture.
Okay, well, let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
One of the first things that stood out to me is that while we hear tons about kids starting elementary and middle school,
Yeah.
the move to high school hasn't actually been researched as much.
That's a really great observation, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, those earlier transitions get so much attention,
Right.
but the high school one has been relatively neglected.
So why do you think that is?
That's a good question. I mean, it's such a significant period.
Totally.
Maybe it's because we assume teenagers are more independent, so they need less support.
Maybe.
But the research shows that's not really true.
And when it has been studied, it's often been super focused.
Yeah, just looking at one narrow thing.
Like just academics.
Right. Or just emotions.
And not how it all connects together.
Exactly.
Which this study tries to do.
That's right. This study aims for a more holistic view.
It takes this thing called life course theory as its lens.
Yeah, life course theory.
What's that all about?
So in a nutshell, life course theory says that our lives are like this ongoing process.
Okay.
And we're always interacting with the social world around us. And
Right.
there are these key transition points.
Like going to high school.
Exactly. And they're not just these isolated events.
Right.
They can actually change the direction of our development,
Interesting.
affecting our roles in society,
Oh, yeah.
our relationships.
So high school is not just something you go through,
It's more than that.
but it's connected to like these bigger patterns.
And inequalities, too.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So we're not just individuals on our own little islands.
Right, we're products of our environment.
To some extent, yes.
So let's talk about how all this plays out in the academic side of things.
All right.
I mean, the research seems pretty unanimous on one point.
What's that?
Grades drop
Yeah.
when kids go to high school.
It's a pretty consistent finding.
And not just a little dip, right?
No, a noticeable
A
decline.
real adjustment period.
Definitely.
Where everything's new,
New expectation.
new environment,
Different social dynamics.
and it all hits at once.
Exactly.
And the paper mentions a bunch of studies that back this up,
Yeah, there's a lot of research over the past 3 decades.
like Barone and Benner and others.
They all found this trend.
And was there any research that didn't find this?
There was one study, actually,
Just one.
that didn't find a significant decline in grades.
So like an outlier.
Yeah. Seems like it.
Okay, so almost everyone sees a dip in their grades.
Yeah.
But it's not just about report cards, right?
Right. It's about the whole picture.
Like actual achievement.
Yeah, standardized tests.
Do those scores drop too?
Well, there's less research on that specifically,
Mm-hmm.
but what we do have suggests that, yes, scores often dip, especially in core subjects.
Okay, so grades go down.
Possibly test scores, too.
What about like how involved students are?
Yeah, their engagement.
Do they still participate as much?
Well, the research shows some interesting shifts there.
Okay.
A lot of studies show a decrease in extracurricular activities.
Like sports and clubs and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we also see more absences.
Both excused and unexcused.
Both.
So like they're just not showing up as much.
Yeah, it seems like that connection to school can weaken for some students.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and students themselves report feeling more academic stress.
Like just more hassles overall.
Ex-
But you mentioned earlier there was one study that found something different about attendance.
Oh, right. Yeah, there was one study that actually found attendance improved.
Oh, wow. How's that possible?
Well, it seems like it might have to do with when they measured attendance.
Okay.
This particular study compared spring of middle school to spring of high school.
And most other studies don't do that.
No, they usually compare fall to fall.
So timing matters.
It seems like it.
Okay, well, all of this makes it seem like things are just tougher academically.
From the outside, yeah.
But what about the students themselves?
What about them?
Like, how do they feel about all this?
Oh, they definitely feel it.
They feel the pressure.
Yeah, when researchers ask ninth graders about the hardest parts of high school,
What do they say?
homework and grades,
Makes sense.
they consistently mention those as major concerns.
And there's research that shows they perceive ninth grade as harder than eighth grade.
Exactly. They feel the step up in expectations.
So they know it's more demanding,
They do.
but their overall attitude towards school
Yeah.
might not actually take a nosedive.
Right. That's a really interesting nuance.
So tell me about that.
Well, some long-term studies
Yeah.
have found that students actually report fewer academic worries in ninth grade
Fewer words.
than in eighth grade.
Huh. But their grades are dropping.
It seems counterintuitive, right?
Exactly.
And what's even more fascinating is that some research has found that their beliefs about education,
Like how much they value it.
exactly, and their confidence in their academic abilities and their sense of being effective learners
Yeah.
might actually increase.
Increase.
Or at least stay the same.
So even though their grades might be slipping, they still believe in school.
And believe in themselves.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, there seems to be this disconnect between what they value and how they're actually performing.
Maybe they just haven't adjusted yet.
Yeah, it could be a lot of things.
New social pressures, maybe?
Could be.
Or just having to manage their time differently?
Wow.
Or maybe the environment's just more demanding?
All possible factors.
Okay, so this all sounds like it could have some pretty big consequences down the line.
It could.
The paper talks about how these academic struggles
Yeah.
are linked to dropping out.
Yeah, that's a serious concern.
And from a life course perspective,
Right.
this isn't a sudden decision,
No, it's a process.
like a gradual thing.
Exactly.
Builds up over time.
And the disruptions that happen during transitions like this
Going to high school,
can contribute to that process.
the paper even says students who eventually drop out
Yeah.
tend to see much bigger drops in their grades when they enter ninth grade.
And become less engaged.
So it's like this critical point where,
Things can start to go off track.
that's a sobering thought.
It is.
So we've talked about all the academic changes.
Yeah.
What about the emotional and social stuff?
Right, the socio-emotional side of things.
Does the paper dig into that too?
It does, but there's actually less research in this area.
Less research on the feelings?
Yeah, compared to the academics.
Huh, surprising.
But the research we do have,
Suggests that this transition can be a pretty intense time.
emotionally and socially.
So what kind of challenges are we talking about here?
Well, increased anxiety is a big one.
Makes sense?
And loneliness
Oh yeah, starting in a new school.
with all new people.
Yeah, that's got to be tough.
And for some, that loneliness can stick around.
Even worsen.
Yeah, in those first few years.
Hmm.
There's also been research showing increased depression symptoms.
Oh, wow.
So it's not just the schoolwork that's stressful,
It's the whole environment.
the whole social landscape.
What about their self-worth?
Yeah, their sense of themselves.
How does that change?
Well, the findings on that are mixed.
Okay,
Some studies have found a drop in self-worth after the transition,
makes sense.
but others haven't.
Huh, so it's not a universal thing.
It seems to depend on a bunch of factors.
Like your background,
Yeah.
social support.
And the specific environment of the new school.
Makes sense.
It's complex.
The paper also mentions this interesting idea, reinvention.
Oh, yeah.
Like using the transition to reinvent yourself.
Yeah, it's like a fresh start.
Tell me more.
Well, the paper talks about the study where some students actively used the move to high school to change how others saw them.
Oh, wow.
Like students who felt labeled in middle school
Yeah.
saw this as a chance to create a new social identity.
And did it work?
For some, it did.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, they actually ended up with a more positive view of themselves.
So like the classic high school makeover montage.
Kinda, but
Yeah.
with deeper implications.
Yeah.
But the paper also points out that all this uncertainty...
Of starting over
yeah.
can also be a source of stress.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you're leaving the familiar
Right.
and going into the unknown.
And that can be tough
And that uncertainty can strain their emotional resources.
as they're trying to figure out where they fit in
But it also presents opportunities.
for positive change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's what they're looking for.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've looked at academic shifts,
Yeah.
emotional shifts.
Right.
Now let's talk about social connections.
Okay.
The paper calls these social convoys,
Yeah, like the people who support you.
the people you travel with.
Exactly.
So this includes parents
Friend,
and people at school,
teachers, counselors.
the whole gang.
Right.
Let's start with parents.
Okay.
How do those relationships tend to change during this time?
Well, interestingly, research suggests that students' perceptions of parental support
Okay.
tend to remain pretty stable across the transition.
Really?
Yeah, they generally report similar levels of support.
Even with all the other changes happening?
It seems like it,
Huh. That's surprising.
but there was one study
Okay.
that found a decline in perceived family support among low-income minority students. And these students also reported increased family stress.
So it's like the family's dealing with more challenges,
Yeah,
might have less capacity to provide that
it
support.
makes sense.
Yeah, you're already stretched thin.
Exactly.
What about friends?
Peer relationships.
Those seem like they would be hugely affected by going to a new school.
They are. It's a major area of research.
And what did that research tell us?
Well, it's actually a bit more complex than you might think.
Okay.
Some studies show that students actually feel more support from their friends.
More support.
Yeah, and they become more involved in their friendships.
Huh. That's unexpected.
And there's also evidence of fewer negative peer interactions.
Like less drama.
Less drama.
And even fewer everyday conflicts.
Yeah, like less bickering.
So a pretty positive picture overall.
For some students, yeah.
But you said it was complex.
Right, because other studies have
Right.
found no change in support from friends.
So it stays the same.
Or even decline.
Declines.
Yeah, less caring, less support.
So how do we make sense of these different findings?
Well, the paper suggests it might have to do with how much the student's peer network is disrupted.
Okay.
Like if they go to a high school where only a few kids from their middle school also go,
Right.
that's a bigger change.
Then if their whole friend group comes with them.
Exactly.
But the paper says a lot of studies don't really look at those feeder patterns in detail.
So it's hard to know for sure.
Right. But regardless of whether peer support goes up or down or stays the same,
Yeah.
the paper highlights this important connection.
Between peer relationships and academic outcomes,
Oh, yeah.
like several studies have shown a clear link.
So good friends equals good grades.
It's not quite that simple, but there's definitely a correlation.
And it affects their emotional well-being, too.
Absolutely. Positive peer connections are linked to better emotional health.
And the paper mentions this one study that found something interesting.
What's that?
For students who felt isolated in middle school,
Oh, right.
the high school transition could actually be a positive turning point.
Yeah. For some kids, starting over is a good thing.
It's like they get a chance to make new friends.
And feel more connected.
Yeah.
And this study even found less involvement in negative behaviors.
Interesting.
So real shift for the better.
Okay, so we've got parents
And peers.
last up in our social convoys.
The school personnel.
Teachers, counselors, principals.
Those adults in the building.
How do those relationships tend to change?
Well, most of the research shows a perception of less support.
Less support from teachers
And principals.
than in middle school.
Yeah, students tend to rate them as less helpful.
But there was that one study
Right.
that found the opposite.
Yeah, one study found students actually had more positive views of their teachers after the transition.
So what explains that?
Well, the paper suggests it might be because they surveyed the students earlier in the process.
Okay.
So maybe they were capturing that initial honeymoon phase.
Before things got real.
Exactly.
So once again, timing seems to matter.
It really does.
It's all about when you ask the question.
And how you ask it.
The paper also talks about the overall school climate
Yeah, that feeling you get when you walk into a school.
and how much students feel like they belong.
That sense of belonging is so important. And the research on how the transition affects those feelings
Yeah.
is also kind of mixed.
Okay.
Some studies have found that students like school less after the transition.
It just doesn't feel as welcoming.
Yeah, but others have found the opposite,
They like it more.
at least at first.
But maybe that doesn't last.
Could be.
And the findings on belonging are also inconsistent.
Some feel more connected.
Some less.
Right, and the paper suggests that how similar the middle and high schools are might play a role.
Like if the environments are really different.
Yeah, that could lead to a drop in those positive feelings.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
It's like having to adjust to a whole new culture.
So all these social connections, the parents, the friends, the school staff,
Yeah, our social convoys.
the paper argues that they act as a buffer.
a buffer against the stress,
Like having those people there.
can make the transition smoother.
Okay, so break it down for me.
Well, strong parent-adolescent relationships seem to be a huge protective factor.
So those kids are more likely to navigate the transition successfully.
And bounce back from challenges.
And, like we talked about, positive relationships with peers.
Yeah, good friends.
And supportive connections with teachers.
And the school as a whole.
Can all make a difference.
Absolutely. They help students adjust and thrive.
Okay, so we've talked about individual experiences.
Yeah.
And social connections.
The social convoys.
Right now, let's zoom out a little.
Okay.
And look at the school environment itself.
The broader context.
The paper calls these sociocultural contexts.
Yeah, the characteristics of the schools themselves.
So what kind of things are we talking about here?
Well, the paper discusses things like school size.
Okay.
Feeder patterns.
Feeder patterns.
Yeah, like which middle schoolers send students to which high schools.
Oh, right.
Socioeconomic status.
Racial and ethnic diversity.
All of that.
So let's start with size.
Okay.
Does it matter if a high school is big or small?
Well, some research has found that students who go to smaller high schools might have fewer academic problems. Yeah, maybe because it feels more familiar.
Like less overwhelming.
Exactly.
But other research hasn't found a clear link between size and academic outcomes.
So it's not a guarantee.
Okay, what about feeder patterns?
Yeah.
Does it matter if you're coming from one main middle school or a bunch of different ones?
It seems like it might.
That's so.
Well, studies have found that students in more traditional feeder patterns, like where they've already gone from elementary to middle school, might actually earn lower grades in 9th grade compared to students who are making a single transition.
Like from a K-8 school to a 9-12 school.
Exactly.
Huh, interesting.
And there's also some evidence of more behavior problems.
And negative peer attitudes.
Yeah, in the group that's experienced more transitions.
So it's like disrupting established peer groups.
Can actually have negative consequences.
Especially academically.
It seems like it.
But the paper also mentioned that these feeder pattern effects might not be the same for all students.
Yeah, different students are affected differently.
Like high achievers versus those who struggled more in middle school.
Exactly.
So how does it play out?
Well, research suggests that students who are lower performing in middle school might actually face more academic difficulties when they transition with a big group of their middle school peers.
So they're better off starting fresh.
It seems like it.
Interesting.
But higher achieving students tend to do better when they enter high school with a lot of their middle school classmates.
So for them, that continuity is helpful.
Yeah, it's like they're bringing their support system with them.
Makes sense.
It's all about finding the right fit.
Okay. Beyond size and feeder patterns.
Yeah.
What about socioeconomic status?
Oh, yeah, that plays a role too.
And the racial and ethnic makeup of the school.
Definitely.
How do those things affect the transition?
Well, research has shown that as the socioeconomic status of the schools increases from middle to high school, students might actually be more likely to see their grades drop.
Really?
Yeah, it's counterintuitive.
Oh, boy.
And when students move to more diverse schools, they've reported feeling a greater sense of belonging.
That's good.
But their grades were also more likely to decline.
Huh. So why would that be?
Well, it might be because they were transitioning to more academically challenging environments.
Oh, so the diversity itself isn't the problem.
Right. It's more about the academic context.
Okay, but not all research has found this link between diversity and grades.
So it's a complex issue.
Lots of factors at play.
Definitely.
The paper also digs into the processes within the schools.
Yeah, what actually happens inside the classroom?
Like how closely teachers monitor students.
The quality of instruction.
Do those things change during the transition?
They often do.
How so?
Well, students in the studies often reported less teacher oversight and limitations in how the school was organized.
Like things are just less structured.
Yeah, which can be tough because high schools generally expect more independence.
And that's a big adjustment.
It is.
Especially with all the social stuff going on.
Exactly.
But there is some good news.
What's that?
When students feel like there's both more structure and more autonomy.
Oh, interesting.
They tend to be more engaged.
So it's about finding that balance.
Between support and freedom.
Right.
So a supportive environment can really make a difference.
Even if the expectations are higher.
Exactly.
It's about feeling safe to take risks.
Okay, last thing, under school environments.
Yeah.
The paper talks about how schools can actually support this transition.
Through programs and services.
Like interventions.
Exactly.
Tell me more.
Well, these programs are designed to help students adjust.
Both academically and socially.
Right.
And do they work?
The research suggests they can, especially early intervention programs.
The earlier, the better.
And the paper highlights that programs that involve not just students, but also teachers and parents.
So a team effort.
Exactly. Those tend to be more effective.
Makes sense.
It's about creating a supportive network.
But one study found that a peer support intervention alone,
just focusing on peer support,
didn't really work.
It wasn't enough.
So you need a more comprehensive approach.
That addresses all the different aspects of the transition.
Okay, we've covered so much.
We have.
Individual changes, school environments.
It's all connected.
Now the paper dives into this really important area.
Social stratification.
Specifically race and ethnicity.
Right.
How does that play into all of this?
Well, life course theory tells us that our place in society can really shape our experiences.
And the high school transition is no exception.
Not at all.
So talk to me about race and ethnicity.
Okay, well, some earlier research found racial and ethnic differences in how students experience those academic disruptions.
During the transition.
Right, but the findings have been kind of inconsistent.
Across different studies.
Yeah, which suggests that the influence of race and ethnicity might depend on the specific school environment.
So where you go to school matters?
It does.
And that leads us to this concept of ethnic incongruence.
Yeah, that's a mouthful.
What does that actually mean in the context of high school?
So ethnic incongruence is when there's a mismatch in the racial or ethnic makeup of a student's school.
From middle school to high school?
Exactly.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Imagine a student who went to a middle school that was mostly students of their own race or ethnicity. And then they go to a high school where they're now in the minority.
Oh, wow. That's a big shift.
It is. And research suggests this kind of change can affect how they develop their identity.
And how connected they feel to the school.
Exactly.
So if there's a big difference in the racial and ethnic makeup.
Especially for students from marginalized groups. Who go to high schools with fewer students like them.
That can have negative consequences.
They might feel less like they belong.
And it can even affect their academics.
Yeah, lower grades, more absences.
It's like they're not being seen or heard.
Yeah, it can be really isolating.
So this social context stuff is huge.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay, the paper wraps up by talking about what we still don't know.
Right, the unanswered questions.
And areas for future research.
Yeah, there's still so much to learn.
So what were some of the big mysteries that stood out?
Well, one of the biggest challenges in this field is figuring out if the changes we see are because of the transition itself.
Going to high school?
Or just because of normal adolescent development.
Right, like are they just growing up?
Exactly, and only a few studies have actually tried to separate those two things.
So we need more research that looks at that specifically.
Yeah, research that compares students who transition to those who stay in the same environment.
Interesting.
And another big area that needs more attention is the long-term view.
What do you mean?
Well, most research focuses on that short period right before and after the transition.
Like the immediate impact.
Exactly. But we don't know as much about how students were doing before that or how the experience continues to affect them down the line.
Right. So we need those long-term studies.
Longitudinal studies that follow the same students over time.
To really get the full picture.
Exactly.
Were there any other under-researched areas that came up?
Yeah, a few things.
Tell me.
Well, the paper raises some interesting questions about what happens when students are off time for the transition.
Off time.
Like if they're older or younger than their peers, we don't know much about how that affects them.
That's fascinating.
And we also need more research on how those different developmental changes are linked.
Like their academics, their emotions, their behavior.
Exactly. Like, does a drop in grades lead to more anxiety?
We don't really know.
Not for sure.
And there's not much research on how the transition might influence risky behaviors.
Like substance use or delinquency.
Yeah. We need to know more about that.
Definitely.
And finally, the paper talks about the importance of comparing the middle and high school environments.
Right, not just looking at the high school in isolation.
So how similar or different are they?
Yeah, that context matters.
Okay. And the paper even hints at how bigger societal trends
like historical shifts
might be influencing these transitions.
In ways we haven't even thought about.
Give me an example.
Well, the paper talks about the development of middle schoolers. And all the different education reforms over the years.
Like No Child Left Behind.
Exactly. These things likely have an impact on transitions.
But we haven't really studied it in depth.
Not yet.
Wow, this paper really opens up a whole new way of thinking about this.
It does.
Okay, well, we've covered a lot of ground today.
A lot of research.
So to wrap things up,
Okay.
What's the key takeaway for our listeners?
I think the most important thing to remember is that the transition to high school is this huge turning point.
A multifaceted experience.
Exactly.
With big changes in their academic, social, and emotional world.
And while it's definitely challenging for a lot of students,
yeah,
every student's experience is unique.
Right.
And it's shaped by their individual characteristics, their support systems.
And the specific schools they go to.
All of that comes together.
So by understanding these deeper dynamics,
right,
our listeners now have a more informed perspective.
On this crucial stage of development.
It's not just about surviving high school.
It's about understanding how it can shape their future.
And the research really highlights that.